Greek yogurt bagels. Greek yogurt bagels. Greek yogurt bagels. Hello, party people. Happy Friday. It'll be Friday when this is going up. Welcome to the party. Welcome back to the party if you're, hanging out with me all the time. Don't have too much to say about this one going into it. This is her talk on her, disorder. Just in case I get flagged, I'm trying to not say it because I noticed that one of the weigh-in videos, I think it was the second weight loss journey video, got flagged as adults only, which is kind of weird, but whatever. Anyway, so yeah, this is her talking about overcoming her disorder, and honestly, I have a different situation happening with me. I don't have this problem. I have the exact opposite. So I'm not super well versed on dealing with this or the things that go on with this. I haven't really been exposed a ton. I'm sure people in my family have had this, and I've had friends who have had this, but I've never been exposed to that to see them doing it. So I'm gonna do my best to get through it, but I'm not sure exactly how much commentary I'll have on it. But I know this was one that you guys did want me to react to, so here we are, and let's get into it.
Hey my love, so today I have a video for you guys that was a little bit requested. Actually, it was very requested. I did a video on this a very long time ago, and I thought I would make a newer one now. I don't think a lot of you guys have seen it. To all my new subbies who are, also struggling with the same thing, binge eating disorder. A lot of you guys don't exactly know what it is. You were asking me, what is it? And how do you know you have it? What can you do to take steps to reduce what's going on? I know it's really, really hard. I am also one who has binge eating disorder, and I have come a really long way, and I personally feel I've overcome it.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So obviously we know that to not be true looking at her today, but I do find it interesting that we have seen her say that she has overcome it, that she's gotten better, that she's gone to therapy, all of this stuff so many times throughout her YouTube career, over the last 10 to 12 years. She has discussed it multiple times, saying that she has overcome it, and we know that's not true. I can't find the video here that she's referencing that she did before, so I'm not sure if she discussed it in that video as well, but it wouldn't surprise me if she had, and we know we can see her. She has definitely not overcome it, and she has even admitted in videos after this that she binges, that she's still seeking comfort in food. So she has not overcome it.
This is one of those things where you have to kind of self-diagnose.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure you need to see a doctor about that.
And take steps, unless you would prefer to go into therapy for it. But there are ways to self-diagnose and to kind of track yourself and monitor yourself along in the process.
Well, mystery solved. I wonder if she has ever seen, I know she said she's gone to therapy, but I wonder if she's ever seen a therapist about this specifically, because that would make a lot of sense as to why she never gets better and she never gets over it, because she's not seen it. She may be seeing a therapist about her anxiety, but and that's a whole other tangent I don't even want to go down right now. But I will say that obviously there's something deeper causing the anxiety, and it probably is very closely related to this. So I'm curious as to why, if she hasn't gotten help for this yet.
So for those of you who are wondering what exactly binge eating disorder is, I'm just going to put all this in my own words. I have researched before, but I also am one who struggles with it. So binge eating disorder basically means that you are a compulsive eater.
To anyone who has struggled with this, is that what it is? I mean, I'm assuming it can vary from person to person, but not a ton, but maybe different people experience it differently. But like I said, I'm not super familiar with it, and in my very rudimentary experience, with people who deal with that, that's kind of not it, like it's not compulsory. It's like literally just binging. Like you just eat and eat and eat and eat and eat. Like that's the capacity that I'm familiar with it. So if it's not that, please correct me down below. I have never really done any research on this because it's never been something that actually applied to me. So I'm very like not knowledgeable about it. If you have any experience with this or any knowledge, I would love for you guys to leave that below. But yeah, I'm just curious if anyone who's had experiences with that overcome it or is in the midst of it, if it's like your experience is gonna line up with what she's saying.
And different things can trigger binge eating. Everybody is different. Some people feel it from stress or trauma. Some people, compulsive eat when they're just kind of bored. Some people feel it like once they taste something good, they can't really stop. So there's all sorts of ways that can happen. And I personally, I feel as though I've overcome it because I realized it a long time ago, and I researched it, and it took me a really long time to even figure out what it was. And when I got my lap band surgery, it kind of broke the cycle a little bit. It kind of helped to break the cycle, but I don't know. Anyway, I'll get into it later. But anyway, that is overall what binge eating disorder is. Compulsive overeating. Like, you literally just feel like you can't stop.
So she has said previously that she, even like before her surgery and stuff, that she couldn't eat past discomfort. To me, if you're eating compulsively to where you can't stop, what would stop you? Like, I feel like even discomfort, if it's a compulsion, because I have compulsions, my compulsions are weird, but like, I have to do it until whatever it is in my brain that's making me, like, that's compulsively making me do something is satisfied. So if you're compulsively eating, like, what would pain be enough to stop it? Or like what is it that's gonna make that trigger in your brain stop? Because like for me, so when I'm stressed or upset or really anything other than like calm and happy, I can't eat. It really is a huge problem. And I have, struggled with it for many years at this point. I have spoken with, because I actually used to be in therapy for a very long time. Unfortunately, that's not an option right now. But so I do have some basic like tools to kind of try to help me get through it. But unfortunately, sometimes when it's really bad, it's really bad. I say all this to say, like, for me, when I'm being triggered by, especially by stress, that feeling of not being able to eat, of physically being sick by even the smell of food, does not go away until the stressor is gone. So I guess I just don't really understand, like, when she's saying she doesn't eat past discomfort, but she's going to compulsively eat, like, I don't know. It's breaking my brain, honestly, to try and even make those two things make sense. And it's like, I think that has to be a lie, right? Like, I don't think those two things can go together.
And then afterwards you feel like usually very regretful. You feel, sad. You're like, oh my God, I just consumed like 3,000 calories in an hour sitting, and you didn't mean to, and it just happened. So as you guys know, I've also been on a weight loss journey. I've lost, over 70 pounds, and coming all this way really had to do with binge eating disorder. The reason I gained all that weight is because I went through a lot of transitional stressful times in my life.
I can understand that. Having my dad locked up and stuff would be stressful for me too. So I completely get that. Having him be something extremely unpleasant, very stressful.
And I kind of soothed it with food, which led to binging. And like, I remember when I got my license, like back in those times, I like found myself being able to go out and buy like food, like anything I wanted to. Like I wasn't limited to just what I had at home, so that didn't really help. Then I started eating like worse and more and more and more, so then it just started to kind of spiral out of control. That's how it personally started for me. Just like stress kind of triggered it. You know, I've always been prone to stress eating.
Okay, so how is stress eating different from binge or compulsory eating? Like those two, especially if you're binge eating because of stress. Like I feel like those two things should go hand in hand. Like like I said, guys, I really don't know about this stuff. So I don't stress eat. I don't binge eat. I physically can't. It is sickening to me to even think or smell food when I'm stressed out. So I really don't understand this. I've also never viewed food as a reward or a treat. Like, and this may be a little bit messed up, but I do feel better about myself if I eat something that's bad, if I have quote unquote earned it. Like, I've, walked XYZ amount of miles or exercised for XYZ amount of time. Maybe that's not the healthiest way, but listen, neither is not eating when you're stressed out, okay? We're picking our battles. But yeah, so I really don't understand, like, what is there a difference between stress eating and binge eating?
As do a lot of people, you know, you're not alone or anything, but it's not healthy, you know, especially to just binge and binge and binge. I understand, you know, you go through a breakup with your boyfriend, you want to eat some ice cream, but like, binging is when you just go and cannot stop. Some people who binge feel so bad after they make themselves throw up, binging and purging, which is bulimia. Personally, I didn't struggle with that myself. I just ate and continuously gained weight and felt more and more sad and depressed, which sucks because it's just like a continuous cycle. You know, you get stressed, you eat, you feel sad, and the cycle just continues. So if you know someone who's struggling with binge eating disorder, it's important not to just put them down. You have to realize what it is and treat it in the right way. Food can often be kind of like almost a drug for certain people, you know, because like I said, they find it as a way to relieve stress.
Oh, I believe food is 100% a drug for her. You know what? Something else too that I find very interesting. Like I've always found it interesting people who find comfort in food because it's so opposite to me, but I find it interesting for her because she had so many things that happened that was outside of her control, and she gives off, like, I can't prove this. I can't say this with any like serious certainty. But to me, she seems like a very controlling person. And like I'm a very controlling person. Like I need to have, especially in my own life, I need to have things happening in a specific way. I have to have, I'm very rigid about certain things. And she seems very much like that in that, like, not all the time, but in some ways she does seem to be very controlling about things. And usually food is about control. And I know a lot of people who struggle with anorexia. It often starts off in childhood as a control thing because so many things around you are out of your control or just like completely out of control in and of themselves. And what you consume is completely within your control. Now, I don't know if binge eating is like the other side of that, but to me, the way she's describing it, it doesn't sound that way. It sounds like you're out of control even when you're eating. So I do find it kind of interesting that she developed binge eating instead of anorexia. I don't know. Does anybody else find it? I mean, obviously it's not weird. I feel like it's more common, especially nowadays, for people to overeat and, eat past discomfort and stuff like that rather than to starve themselves. But I find it very interesting as somebody who gives off a very controlling vibe that she would have all of these things in her life out of control and out of her control, that she would then just allow her eating to also be out of control, like pure chaos in her life.
So what I helped myself do in the sense of eating less, I almost kind of realized that I had to take a step back, first of all, and kind of like realize what was going on. When you're like continuously gaining and gaining more and more weight, I don't think you always realize it. And then, you know, one day you step back and you're just like, wow. And I didn't realize it myself. My mom realized it. My mom came to me and was just like, I'm worried about you. I don't know if you like realize, I didn't realize that I had gained so much weight, and I got on that scale one day and I was like, wow, I did not realize at all.
Yeah, I don't really understand that, because your clothes would not be fitting properly and you'd have to constantly be buying a bigger size. Wouldn't that be kind of a clue, like the size pants you're wearing, the size clothes you're wearing? I feel like that would be a clue. And I wonder if she had this moment as well at the doctor's and tried to play it off like, oh wow, I just had no idea that I was almost 400 pounds again. Oh my gosh, how did we get here? Did she black out while she's eating, or like what's happening?
The lap band kind of helped me eat less. Not only did I have to do this though, like physically it helped, but it's an emotional thing too. If you like don't mentally figure out what's wrong, like you might have deeper issues than you realize.
So again, I'm very, 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 very confused. She realizes it here. This is like 11 years ago. What? Why won't she just go get help?
You know, you may be binge eating for reasons that you don't realize because it's subconscious, but that's why it's really important to reflect upon yourself and kind of realize, why is this happening? It's really important to keep a journal in the binge eating disorder world, you know, a food journal after you, and you have to be honest, of course, in it, but after you binge, it's important to write down your feelings and like, how are you feeling about this? Are you like feeling terrible? What did you just eat and why? What happened before that binge? What triggered it? And then once you figure out what triggered it, that is when you can evaluate the situation, figure out a solution that's healthier and just better for you. And overall, you really just have to figure out a way to develop a healthier relationship with food. And to do that, you know, you might have to create a meal plan. You might have to, you know, do meal preparations and not necessarily go on a diet, but just create a healthier lifestyle with your food choices.
Wow. From the horse's mouth. Like, crazy how she's so knowledgeable about this here, but just a short time later we have fallen so far off the track.
So to take steps towards recovering from your binge eating disorder, find ways to manage your stress as well. It's really important to figure out what's stressing you out and find ways to deal with it. Exercising is a great way. It brings up your endorphins. You know, go for a walk with a friend. Have routines. Routines are really important too. You know, stay busy, stay on track of your routine. If you like wait and don't eat all day and then eat at the end of the day, that's often how binges begin as well. Like,
oh, see, my thing is people do intermittent fasting. I used to intermittent fast quite often, and I would only give myself a very short window to consume whatever I was going to consume for that day, and then that was it. And I mean, again, not the most healthy, guys, especially stuff that I was doing in my 20s. Oh, absolutely not. I was just reckless. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't feel like, but I can't speak on this because I don't know. I don't have to deal with this problem. So I'm not really familiar with this, but I mean, to me, that's like saying people who have intermittent fasting who do that and then they consume all of their calories in, you know, maybe 6 to 8 hours, that they're binge eating. Or it seems like we're walking a really fine line here.
You haven't eaten all day, and then you go home and you just like eat so much stuff because you're so starving. So, you know, bring meals with you throughout the day. Granola bars, protein bars, nuts, you know, fruit, vegetables, whatever. Anything to keep you like full and on track of your life. Try to avoid temptations. Like, you know, if you're trying not to eat certain things that can send you into a binge, if it tastes really good and you usually binge on it, you can't just have one, try to avoid those trigger foods. It's essential. Make sure you get enough sleep. It will help to boost your energy, keep you feeling like focused throughout the day. And like I said before, try not to get bored. Like I said, try to stay busy because, you know, a lot of people just eat when they're bored and it fills their time and keeps them busy, and that's just not healthy. And having support from other people is important. If you feel like you're a hardcore binger, you know, they have binge eating disorder meetings. It's just like you know, a regular anonymous thing. A lot of people struggle with it. You are not alone. It is definitely more common than you probably realize. And if you feel like it's affecting your daily life, especially in like a negative way, it's really important to try to get help for it. If you don't feel like you can do it by yourself, it's super, super important to maybe find like a therapist for it, or like I said, a group meeting.
Yes, Alex, you should probably do these things. You should probably find a therapist and a group therapy setting.
Because it can be treated, you know, it's more mental than anything. Depression has been linked to binge eating disorder, so if you feel as though you might be depressed, it's also important to see your doctor. You know, if you have trouble, you know, feeling sad, or maybe have another mental thing going on that you may feel is triggering this, it's absolutely okay to see your doctor and get help for it. It breaks my heart when people feel like mental health problems are a negative thing. It's simply the way your brain is made. It's not like anything's wrong with you, and it can be fixed. You know, whether you don't want to use pills or just take therapy, anything to get help is important. Don't feel like you can't get help. I swear, it's okay to get help. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative. Send me a tweet on Twitter if you have another question for me. Comment below, chat amongst yourselves, and I hope that any of you guys going through this don't feel hopeless. This video is to fill you with hope. I've come a long way myself. I really just found a way. I'm so busy now, and I like that. I like to be busy, and like I feel good in my skin now, and I almost feel like that keeps me motivated just to stay healthy, and I don't want to ever have like any health risks or anything like that.
Well, buckle up, sweetheart, because you're going to have a blood clot, and then just a few months later, you're going to go out and eat fast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I want to stay healthy and happy, and I look back now and I like look how sad I was sitting in my room at 16, like binge eating on oatmeal pies, and I was just like miserable, and I never want to go back there.
Oh, this makes me incredibly sad because she is absolutely back there.
So it's like, once you come and just take steps on the journey, it's forever going to be a thing, by the way. Like, it's not something that just happens and goes away. I might always have like a little bit of like wanting to binge inside of me, but that's just something you have to take day by day. It doesn't just go away forever. And it's a work in progress. We're all works in progress. We all struggle with different things. This is just my thing. Maybe it's your thing, but it is treatable, and it's something you can overcome. So stay hopeful, guys. Stay positive, and you can get through whatever you're going through, I promise. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you bunches. Bye.
Okay, like I said, I don't have too much to say about it because this isn't something that I'm very knowledgeable about or that I struggle with. However, this video does kind of make me very sad for her, knowing like she was so unhappy when she was overweight, and now she's heavier than she was then. So my thought that she's extremely unhappy is most likely true, and she's kind of telling us that. She's telling us so much right here. She never wanted to go back there again, and yet she got even higher. Because in this video, she's only coming from not even 300 pounds. She was almost 400 pounds, if not over 400 pounds, not that long ago. That is so sad. It's so sad, and it's even more sad because she tries to put on this facade like she's so happy. She's happy in her marriage. She's happy with her child. You know, she's so happy. But happy people don't eat themselves to death. You know, it's, I don't know. Especially, like, not people who have a binge eating disorder who have, in the past told us that they eat and they binge because they're unhappy, because they're, you know, dealing with stressful situations and stuff like that. So, you know, I mean, yes, two things can be true at the same time, but also sometimes they can't. I don't think she's very happy. I don't think she's a very happy person. I don't think she's happy in her current situation, and it's showing on the scale, or lack thereof, I should say. Yeah, so this is also kind of like helping me gather thoughts and questions for what I want to do for my tarot reading whenever that's gonna happen. Hopefully I can get to that this weekend, actually. But yeah, this makes me super sad. So that's going to be it for this one. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments, as always. And if you've made it this far and you just want to leave something, I guess put I don't know. Let's put a palm tree emoji. Let's be a little bit on the bright side. But yeah, that's all I have for this one. So I will see you guys in another reaction coming very soon.